Yes, people, what is happening? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to take you through my journey from leaving school to basically where I am just now. So, personal trainer, online coach, multi-billion dollar content creator. Nah, I'm kidding on, not quite there yet, not quite there yet. But I thought I would just run you through how I got to where I am right now. I posted a TikTok of this the other day in a really kind of short format, and I feel like I wasn't really able to get across how I've actually kind of got to where I am just now. So I thought I would just do a video talking through basically the journey so far, and I'll leave wee like screenshots and all that and videos and stuff in it so that you can see, how Scrandon was when he was a young pup. Just trying to find his way in the world. So we'll jump back to 2018, right? I'd literally just left school in May or June or whatever, right? Had zero clue with what I wanted to do. If you've seen my Q&A before, you'll know, like, I've explained that I was a wee shit in school, all right? An absolute wee shit. So I left school, didn't know what I wanted to do. Basically, I applied to go to uni, right, to do mental health nursing. And I also applied for an apprenticeship in a bank, all right? So I basically went for the interviews in the mental health nursing and I get put on like the waiting list, all right? So I think to get accepted into it, it's quite hard. I wanted to have backup options as well though, so that's why I applied for that apprenticeship in the bank. So I get put on a waiting list for the mental health nursing at uni, but then I went for the interview at the bank and I got that job. So I found out whatever it was like a week later. But then the day after I accepted the job in the bank, the university got back to me saying that they would offer me a space. But I'd already accepted the job at the bank and I was thinking, do you know what, I've accepted it, it'll be full-time money, I'll like work my way up, work my way up that career corporate ladder. But see all through like childhood and all through high school, I knew for a fact I did not want to work in an office, right? So I don't know why I wanted to do that, but I think it was just because I'd already accepted it. I would feel a bit bad like turning around and saying that I'm not doing it. But I do think though it's weird the way life works like that, because I've said before, like, everything in my life's obviously worked in a certain way to lead me to where I am today. So imagine I took that mental health nursing degree at uni. Like I'd be like doing something like probably completely different right now, which is quite fried to think about. So yeah, I started my job in the bank. It was in Glasgow, right? So there was like me and then there was probably like a group of like 12, 13 like other apprentices. Actually, when I walked in, I knew a boy, Josh Brown, my guy, and then that made the whole time like so much better. Like, because towards the end of it, like we just both absolutely hated our life, but we were in it together. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, we started in the bank. It was all right. Like we were in the training room, so it was a bit of a kind of fuck about, to be honest with you. All right, like we were just kind of messing about and stuff. And I feel like when we were in training, it get like made out to be way more than it actually was. So we were getting told, "Oh, you're going to work with clients and in meetings and blah 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 blah." But then when I actually just came to the job, it was just working in a call centre. So I quickly realised I really, really, really did not like it. I was not enjoying it. And it got to the point like I was like pretty miserable, like every kind of morning that I woke up like thinking I cannot be bothered going in here for like 9 hours of my day and just being absolutely miserable. So it was pretty brutal, like, but I knew I definitely wasn't going to be sticking at it forever. But because I hated it that much, at the end of the day, I was 18, right? Like, when you're 18, you're out every weekend as well. So I'm not saying that, like, the job led me to pure drinking every weekend and going out and stuff, but I just had, like, no structure to life. I was just waking up pure miserable, like, Monday to Friday, and then just absolutely dying for the weekend to come so I could go out and drink and just, like, eat hundreds of shite and all that. So it was just, like, a kind of vicious cycle. I started putting on a bit of weight and stuff, and I'll leave a video here, right? My teeth are pure yellow and I'm pure pale and put on a good bit of weight, and I was just like, just miserable, right? I was just not enjoying life at that minute, so I was like, I need to do something about this. I started going to the gym just as like a kind of distraction away from work, so whenever I was in work, all I was thinking about like that day was just finishing off the day, going to the gym, and just, it was like almost like a bit of an escape, alright? So started going to the gym and I started to lose weight, started to see changes, started to see results. I cleaned up my diet massively. So like before, when I first started the job, there was like a canteen. I was about to say cafeteria. Pure American. There was like a canteen, I could go and get pure shite food there, alright, like, so I would usually eat that, but then I started taking in my own meals and like chicken and rice and blah, blah, blah. I just really cleaned up my diet and started training like really good and started to see results. And I actually found that I really enjoyed going to the gym. I've said before, like I have been pretty kind of like heavy and overweight like the majority of my life. So see when I started to actually see changes and started to get like lean, if you want to say, and lose fat, like I did really enjoy it. I loved it. So yeah, I went home and I told my mum and dad, I was like, listen, I can't do this anymore. Like I really can't do this anymore. It's proper brutal. And I was probably earning like a decent amount of money for being on like 18, 19, but I was like, I'm not staying here. Like I can't do it anymore. And in my opinion, I don't think any amount of money at whatever age is worth feeling absolutely miserable every day of life. Alright, like I know it's like easier said than done, but I do think if you're in that situation, you need to try and get out of it 100% because it's not good for you. So dropped out, applied to do personal training at college, get accepted into that, and done it for the first year, was cool, and COVID hit when I was getting ready to do my second year. So the second year was about working with a client and taking them in and almost just like role playing as a PT, but obviously we weren't really able to do that. So I actually did have a client that I was working with, but it was like over Zoom kind of calls, so it wasn't that great. Finished off the couple of years at college. See, to anybody watching this, I sometimes wish I just paid for the crash course and just get a qualification and got it over and done with. I do feel like college was a bit useless. I'm not going to lie. I feel like I didn't really learn anything for college, and sorry to any of the lecturers and that are watching this. I just feel like all the things that I know now, I didn't actually learn any of that in college. It was just from like going into the gym and talking to people and just trial and error, like my own kind of things. There was lecturers there that were actually really good, and you actually learned like quite a lot of, like in terms of like exercises and why we do it, mechanics, etc. But in terms of like all the things that I say to my clients now, and yeah, I just think the course could have been ran a bit better and it could have been like more relevant to what we were actually doing. I remember there was like one class we were doing, it was like about spreadsheets and all that, and I was like, what are we doing here? Like, I'm about to qualify as a PT and I've actually not coached any sort of clients yet, but I'm sitting learning about like databases and spreadsheets, you know what I mean? Like, it could have been, but I feel like that's any course, that isn't a dig at the college that I went to, but I do feel like any courses like that, even in school, like, I was just always like sitting learning algebra, and I'm like, when am I ever going to walk into a shop and say, I need X apples, what amount is Y? Do you know what I mean? It's fair enough if you were actually going to go and study algebra or maths at uni, but I feel like at school you actually get taught valuable life lessons. But anyways, that's going off on a mad tangent, alright? So I finished college, got my qualification in like May, June 2021, alright? So was like fully qualified, but I was still working at the gym that I now PT out of, but I was just a gym attendant there. I've kind of skipped a part. I'm terrible at these. I kind of skipped a part, so like when I went to college, I had to go back working part-time, obviously, so I went to work at Odeon, New Look, and then I ended up getting a job in Pro Life Fitness Centre in Paisley, best gym in Scotland. But I got a job there as just like a gym attendant whilst I was studying to be a PT, so it was quite good because I already had my kind of foot in the door in a place, if that makes sense. So yeah, sorry, I just pure skipped a part of that story. We'll get there with the whole YouTube stuff, you know, we will get there. Oh, I've got my qualification, but I was absolutely terrified to announce I was becoming a PT. I didn't want to make a logo, I didn't want to get the name sorted, I didn't want to start it, I didn't want to get an Instagram up and running because I thought people were going to take the piss out of me, blah, 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 blah. And then I was actually just sitting, I was like, why do I care? Do you know what I mean? Why do I care what anybody's going to say about me? I've said this before in another video, but I honestly do not give a shit about what anybody says about me or thinks about me. But I definitely did at that point, so I was pure putting it off. And then I was like, do you know what? Just go for it, man. Just go for it. Like, what are you waiting for? You've qualified. What, you're just going to not like do anything about it? Just went for it, made the Insta, announced it all, and yeah, it was good. It went well. So I actually got COVID in like July that year, I can't remember. I went down to London and I ended up getting COVID. So see, it was when you had to like do the 2 weeks of lockdown. So in that time, I literally just used it to like make the branding, like make up the Google Sheets that I was giving out to people and try and get clients. So I was only online at this point because I was still waiting to get a space in Pro-Life to do one-to-one personal training. So I literally just started it dead cheap, £50 a month, that was it. And I feel like being a PT as well, you're way more successful if you know a lot of people. So I feel like if you know hundreds and hundreds of different people, then you're kind of likely to get clients. And see, especially at £50 a month, like that is a no-brainer. That is like so cheap. So I just got like quite a lot of clients right away. I mean, I think like right away I was on like 18, 20 clients, all on kind of like £50 a month. And I just started to kind of build up like the online side of things. I started to post like more on Instagram. And then obviously I started to get like results with clients, so I'll leave them like here. Then finally the gym caved in, you know, they let the dawn in. But no, like the whole time I was online, I was just kind of like waiting about for Pro-Life to let me in. Like, I easily could have went to like a Pure Gym or something like that, like to work, but I really wanted to stay at Pro-Life, and I'm still there just now. So I left my job as a gym attendant, wasn't getting that wage, then had to go straight and pay rent to Pro-Life. And yeah, just basically started up the business like 100%, became fully self-employed. I have face-to-face clients, but I also have quite a lot of online clients as well. The end goal is just to be fully online. I do just like the idea of kind of being able to travel a lot and taking a laptop anywhere. And I do enjoy like the online kind of side of things, and obviously it would like allow me to put way more kind of time and effort and focus into like YouTube or TikTok and all that kind of stuff as well. So that is the goal. So I was literally just doing one-to-one PTing and online PTing, and then I started to kind of post a couple of TikToks because I always liked the idea of kind of like blowing up in like a social media. See it as this is just going to be like really good for business and your growth as a person. Your growth. Yeah, growth, like in business growth. Don't know what I'm talking about. But anyways, so I started to post like a couple, and it was just really like kind of workouts and stuff, but they get absolutely like no views. They obviously got some views, but I mean I get like, I don't know, 12 views and like 80 views and stuff like that. So I would like always post like one or two, right? And then I would get so down that they done that bad, and then I would just be like, patch this, I'm not doing it, blah blah blah. So anyways, I'm still doing the one-to-one PT, and I'm still doing the online PT. And then I started to post TikToks like more regularly, probably about like March, April, kind of May time. I can't actually remember, but I just mean I was like more consistent with it, and it still didn't like get views, but I read somewhere that TikTok kind of favours people that use the app a lot more. So I was like, do you know what, like, let's just post it. And again, kind of relating back to the thing, like, see before, honestly, like, I would not do any of that. I was so terrified to post a first TikTok in case, like, people are like, oh, pure embarrassing, or you're pure cringe or whatever. Again, don't care. Like, I actually don't care. It's hard to, but see if you do try and get in that mindset, honestly, you will be unstoppable, man. Unstoppable, because since I've been in that mindset, there's been so many opportunities and stuff that have came up. Whereas, like, if I was pure static and caring what everybody thought or said about me, then I would not be where I am today. So don't care what other people think about you. Honestly, if you want to do something, go and do it. Who cares? Then I kind of ventured into making recipes, but not just like any kind of recipes, just these are not just any recipes, these are M&S recipes. No, not just like normal cooking. I mean, it was more like trying to make dieting and being in a calorie deficit a lot kind of funner and more enjoyable. And there's always big debates about this, like fakeaways and blah blah blah, and you shouldn't post them, and like, well done mate, you're just cooking. But I'm a big believer that if you're actually enjoying the foods that you're eating, then you're way more likely to actually stay on track with any sort of diet or any sort of deficit, right? From my personal experience and with clients and stuff as well, and just like the broad population, right, when people want to lose fat, they think, right, they'll instantly put themselves on really low calories, right, and they'll bash themselves with like all sort of cardio. Your scale weight might drop for the first kind of 2 or 3 weeks, but after that it's going to kind of plateau, right? And then the only way that you can really go from there is to make it even more aggressive, right? And by either lowering the amount of food that you're on, or doing even more cardio, doing even more sessions, which 9 times out of 10, that is why the reason a lot of people sack it off, because they think, fuck this, I don't want to eat like a rabbit, and they've got no energy levels, etc, etc. So I'm a big believer that if you're actually enjoying the foods that you're eating, then you're way likelier to stick to a diet. And I'll leave the picture up here, but I've lost about 20 kilo, and it was all through eating foods that were actually enjoyable and that actually taste good. And all them, my thing with the recipes, a lot of people would look at it and be like, that must be bad for you, but it's not, because we're taking out certain ingredients, we're using lower calorie meats, etc., to all fit into like your calorie and macros. So that's the reasoning behind it. Yeah, I was really enjoying posting the recipes, and they started to pick up a good bit, and I started to gain more and more followers. So I'll leave the screenshots. I think I've screenshotted like quite a few. So it went up to like 3,500. Then it maybe went to 10, and then 15, and 25, and I think we're just under 50 now. So yeah, it's picked up. It has picked up quite a good bit, and I'm obviously not complaining with it. So I upload daily on it. So I was doing daily recipes. And I think, like, I'm not saying this like it's the hardest thing in the world. It's definitely not. But I don't think people realise, like, see when they see like a wee 30-second TikTok, they think I've just kind of magicked it out of thin air. But it takes like hours from start to finish. So from start, like different camera angles, lighting, actual cooking the food, I might need to go and get the materials or whatever, and then finishing the recipe, and then like sitting and editing it. Also, it takes hours from start to finish. So I was proper busting my pan in, because I was like extremely busy with one-to-one stuff, but also with the online clients. But then I would maybe have like a kind of few hour gap in the day in between one-to-one clients, but then I'd be coming home and making a TikTok and doing this and doing that and editing it and then doing a YouTube and stuff. So my mind was just like racing 24/7, and it still is. I'm not lying to you, right? And I was in the gym. I got a message from an agency down in London, all right, saying like, hey Adam, love your content. We're shooting an advert for Branston Pickles, the Pickle Don, come on. We're shooting an advert for Branston, would you like to come down? And I was like, yeah, cool. So I actually showed my dad the message, and he was like, I think that's like an audition, and then if you get the part, then you get into the advert and get paid, and so on and so on. So I had to kind of clarify it, and then they were like, no, like, we want you to come down. So absolutely buzzing with that. But they wanted me to kind of come down like 2 days after they messaged me, and I was looking up the flights, and they were like hundreds and hundreds of pounds. And I was like, there's no point in me coming down and doing this, because I'm not really going to make any money if I'm going to need to pay for the flights. So then they were like, no, like, we'll fly you down and all that. And I was like, nice. Then the shoot got postponed because the flight was getting into London at like 9:30 or whatever, and the shoot started at 10, but the actual studio is still like an hour and a half drive away from the airport that I was going to, which is quite mental. It's quite mental. London's a very, very big place. So I was absolutely gutted. I'm not going to lie to you. I was so gutted. I was like, this isn't going to happen. Just, I was so buzzing that I was actually going down and getting picked to do something like this, and then it got cancelled, and I was like, this isn't going to happen. This is never going to happen, blah, blah, blah. So didn't hear anything for like a month and a bit, and then I was coming back from Ireland, and then I got an email to say that it was definitely happening with like more kind of notice. And oh my god, I was so buzzing. So at the end of August, I think it was roughly about that. But I went down to London. Honestly, best day of my life, man. Best day of my life, hands down. I was absolutely petrified to go down, but it was kind of like summer still. It was a pure boiling sunny day, pure blue skies. I'll leave some videos in. I was nervous, but then when I got there, all the nerves just completely went away. I had a really fun day. That feeling after, walking away after and doing something that I was kind of terrified to do, and something kind of big like that, it was some buzz. So I was like, let's go celebrate with a pint, right? Went and got myself a pint. I still looked at alone. I was just sitting myself. Went into a bar outside King's Cross Station. Didn't even have like the pints on draft, right? It was just like the bottles. £14. £14 for a pint. It was a bottle that they'd poured in. £14, and it was like one of the IPA beers or something. It was, oh my god, ruined my day. Yeah, done that advert, was really good, was absolutely buzzing with it. I'll leave it at the side here when I'm talking if you've not seen it. Came home and I was like, I wonder if that's just me, or are more opportunities like this going to come up, because I really enjoyed going down and doing something like that. And lo and behold, another email from the same company saying, hey, loved your advert, we want you to do another one for us. So went on a call with them, and they're like, we want to make you the face of Branston in Scotland. The Pickle Don, come on. But that was a good buzz, that was a good buzz. So we've done that advert. It's running on TikTok just now, but the official one will be going out soon. So very hush hush, alright, but I'm gonna keep my lips sealed in that. But the other one will be coming out soon, alright, and I might have a wee wee vlog, wee behind the scenes day coming up, but who knows, who knows. A big part of news was I got a deal with Muscle Food, which I was pretty buzzing about, a company I've used for ages. Obviously I've done the video where I kind of unboxed the order and stuff as well, so yeah, I was absolutely buzzing with that. That was amazing as well. I'm mad, a bit of a mad kind of like the last 6 months or whatever it is. It's been pretty crazy, I'm not going to lie. I don't expect any of this to happen, but I'm obviously so buzzing and so thankful it has. And I'm just going to keep running with it and see where it takes me, to be honest with you. I love doing the YouTube. Again, I'm always open to video suggestions, anything, so drop me a text. Don't drop me a text, I'm not leaving my number on here, but drop a comment with any videos you want to see as well, because like I said, I really am enjoying the whole kind of social media content kind of side of things as well. But yeah, I was trying to get across in the TikTok, like, I left a wee comment and stuff then, but it's hard obviously in TikTok, you need to keep the videos short and stuff, so I just thought I would do a video kind of talking over everything instead. And I do want to say as well, again, I'm not wanting to sit here and sound like Gandhi or whatever, as if I've got the answer to your life's problems, that I'm definitely not. But just know that whatever situation you're in, whatever it is, right, work, the shape you're in, anything that you're not happy with, it can and will change. So if you're in a pure shit situation right now, just have faith, you know, work hard, stay positive, and something better will bound to come up. And like I said, if you are in a job that is making you miserable and you absolutely hate your life, then you need to do something about it, because I definitely don't think it's good for you. And again, it's not as easy for people. I'm very lucky, I still live with my mum and dad and all that kind of stuff, so it was easy for me to kind of drop off. I had that safety net there, so don't think I'm sitting here saying like, oh yeah, just drop out whatever you're on if you've got like 4 kids and whatever, but I would like do something about it 1,000,000%. And if you're in something that you pure hate, just keep the faith in that, G's, you know, because things will look up. Same with your shape as well. The only person that can change that is you. By all means, you can get help, you know, the online coaching, link in bio. Join the team. But yeah, like any situation you're in, just keep your head up in that, because it can definitely get better, 100%. If you were to tell me in 2018 that I'd be doing what I'm doing just now, I would have absolutely laughed at you. I actually would have laughed at you this time last year when I got my qualification. So I did not think any of this was going to be possible, or any of this would have happened. So, but thank you so much for watching the video. Appreciate it. If you liked, subscribed, turn the notifications on, all that jazz. I will see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.